Games in this podcast range from E to M.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the official Xbox podcast. It's the only podcast coming to you from inside Xbox. We have a great one for you today. We're going to be talking about the sequel to High on Life, which, if you guessed, we're talking about High on Life 2. Nothing gets by you, right? Before we get into this, we read the comments, right? We're like, oh, bring Malik and Ethan back. They're the best thing that happened to Xbox since Halo.
It's never been a comment.
They're bigger than Taylor Swift. Like, we get it. We get it. So, in the spirit of giving the people what they want, I'm one of your hosts, Malik Prince, joined alongside Ethan Rothamel.
Hey, good to be here. I've never seen that comment once on the show, but that's all right. I also, it's so good to see you. Let me say that.
Like, you too.
Yeah, I miss you so much.
Yeah?
I have to say this live on the air because I literally haven't seen you in months at this point.
Yeah.
And the minute I get to say hi to you, we're on the air. So it's so good to see you. You look great.
You
look
too.
Great. That's
Look at us.
I almost said Chicago. That San Diego sun
That's
is looking,
right.
is doing you good.
It's the end of summer shine.
Oh, okay.
And, you glow up, you know?
Does the summer actually ever end in San Diego though?
That's true. That's the best
Kinda
part
nice.
about it. It's the best part about it, Ethan.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we got like 2 weeks left before we all turn into vampires in Seattle. So
Get right.
I'm trying to like milk it. Yeah, milk it for all it's worth.
What we got going on there today?
We have a great one for you today. We're talking High on Life 2, just like Malik said. And joining us from Squanch Games, we have Mikey Spano, the creative director and art director, and Maddie Studovan, the chief operations officer and executive producer. Gentlemen, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us. Awesome to be here.
It's so good to have you here. When we found out we were hosting this one with you guys and getting to talk about this game, like, just felt lucky to get picked for this episode because we were fans of the first one, very much looking forward to the second.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot.
not only excited for the conversation about High on Life 2, but I mean, look at it. Can we get a wide shot? Look at us. This wide color. This is the brightest episode of this podcast.
Oh, it's true.
In history.
Yeah, I'm wearing the black shirt, but it's
But it's pink. It's pink.
neon pink on it.
Yeah, exactly.
But the first question has to be like, where are our shirts?
I know. Okay, so true story.
Yeah.
We brought shirts, we gave them to them, and they threw them in the trash. That's true. They threw them in the trash. They said they don't like High on Life.
No.
No. The true story is that we're taking them off at the end of this podcast and just giving you
That's
that's
really-
the
that's
plan.
the
Yeah, we're
podcast.
trying to get them nice and wet for you.
Yeah, I love
This
that.
is rated NC-17.
Lightly used. I'll never wash it. Yeah.
Yeah, anyone that knows me knows I will get this shirt very wet.
Great.
You guys can fight over who gets it.
I feel like the audience knows this is a High on Life podcast for sure. It's so sick. I love this. So let's talk about the game. You know, you all have been on a major tear, obviously revealing the game at Game Showcase, which just brought me back to a few years ago when the first game was revealed. I think I tweeted something like, oh, this game is going to be special because from the look, the aesthetic, the comedy, everything was perfect.
Yeah.
And it was a smashing success. So now High on Life 2, you all are keeping busy with the game. Released a 42-minute demo just like a week or something ago.
42 minutes.
Insane. And it was the craziest demo. We'll get into it in just a bit. But how are you all keeping up? Like, how are you feeling?
Terrible. Just no. I mean, so Maddie and I kind of do a lot of jobs at the studio. So we've got all the sort of studio executive stuff that we do, but we also have the game stuff that we do, and then we're also out doing marketing and we're talking about the game. And I'm even in the engine making the game actively at the same time.
Oh my God.
We're just kind of working around the clock to make sure everything is lining up. We're not forgetting anything. So as a result, after doing just Gamescom, back at home for a couple of days and then right back out here for PAX, I'm getting a little tired, but I love talking about the game. So
it's crispy season for gaming.
Yeah.
We all feel it.
Yeah, I may not look like it, but I make an Excel spreadsheet. So, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, Maddie's
love
very
Excel.
type A.
Yeah.
The hair defies his true nature.
Killer plug, by the way. Shout out Excel.
No, seriously, it's like my only TikTok account that I subscribe to,
It's like Excel props. And like,
Yeah.
We love a good Excel. You know there's competitions with Excel?
I do.
It's insane. But it's so cool. I don't know.
I don't know. You're bringing up a sore subject. Okay. I've been rejected every time.
Knocked out in the first round.
Wait, what the hell is a Excel contest?
It's
What
like
does that even look
formulas and like who can they present a problem, I think, right?
Yeah, and
Maybe we should pivot to that. I think we can get some Excel
let's
pros on the
just-
horn. Just do a call
Yeah,
and
let's just
Excel.
talk about Excel.
like it.
Yeah. No, we joke, but like my wife also working in gaming, she is like a goddess of Excel. Like what I thought could be done in this application, she can do 10 times more. And I'm always like blown away. And then I'm like, am I getting excited about Excel? You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like
Yes,
it's that
you are.
duality of being an adult.
Don't be ashamed.
Don't do that. Don't
Just
do
a little,
that.
just a little. Now, so when it launched, I think High on Life was like the biggest third-party game to hit Game Pass. It was pretty monumental.
It was massive, yeah.
It was like all anybody was talking about The Office too. And I'm curious, I mean, you kind of hit on this a little earlier. Like, I'm curious, it's only been a few years. How can you turn around a sequel so quickly? And I think you answered in the sense of like, you're all kind of doing more than one job.
For sure, yeah. I mean, the core of the team kind of came from AAA games and then moved into this indie space. So we had a lot of just sort of production mentality built into us. And then prior to working with Squanch, I had an indie company that I did on my own. So there were a lot of shortcuts we learned there. And so when we started here, we already had a lot of answers. And we started with three people maybe, and now we're up to 87, I believe.
In how many years then?
Oh gosh, it's 30, 40 years. I don't know how long it's been.
Yeah, you've been there like
8-ish,
70
9-ish
years.
years.
Yeah, wow.
It's been a while.
He got his AARP card the other day.
for real.
Killer.
Great,
Yeah. Thank you.
It's just like part of the culture and how we've kind of built the culture. I've also kind of like thinking about like a comedy game too, is like comedy movies are generally like the shorter the better, right? And it's like we want to just like get the comedy out there. We don't want to like hang on it too long. You know, we want to just like get the joke, get the mechanic, get it out there. And like Mikey was talking about with his small studio, like I think a lot of us bring that sort of like DIY mentality to the studio, right? And you know, we talk a lot about like, hey, don't talk about scope on the game, but what we do talk about all the time is like, how do we do this? Like, what are the most important things in the game, and how do we spend our time and money on those? And then how do we, all the other stuff, how do we do it like effectively and cost efficiently? And like, there's so many like Mikey's like the definition of like wily veteran, you know? He's like, well, what if we just like change this shader over here and then like move this asset, and everybody's like,
we shouldn't do it, and then I just do it myself like, at the very last minute, and make everybody furious at me. But I have to do it, you know. But I do want to say, really, the true reason, and this is going to sound lame, but it's true. We have a really awesome team.
Yeah.
Like part of the studio's growth was we didn't really have a lot of cachet initially. So we had people who were newer to the industry, which is great because they're hungry, but then there's not a lot of experience. And once we shipped High on Life 1, we had a bunch of people come on board that actually had a lot of experience and they were ready to do something new. And so they're all excited to work hard. We try to give people autonomy and let them kind of run their own show. And I think that pays off a lot. And of course, being an indie studio, which doesn't seem like we are, but we are, there's just budget limitations that make it so that this is the time we have to do it, and that's how we're going to do it. So we just make it happen.
I do want to just double click on the comedy aspect, because it is like one, like comedy is different per person, right, who receives it. And I like how you brought up like the pace of comedy, because it does feel like, especially studio comedies typically revolve around like a 90-minute movie, like pretty quick. You want to get to the game being the joke or the bit, and kind of get out of there. And I got to imagine that's a tricky thing to navigate in development of a game, because you also have to work in these comedic bits and moments in a game that someone's like playing and choosing when they walk over here, when they do this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, I feel like early on we were saying like, hey, like what does comedy require a lot of? And it's like iteration, and what is really expensive in games, like iteration. Right? So like we've, you know, like Mikey was saying, our team has done a lot of work and really like interesting and I feel like unique work to make that process as fast as possible for, you know, the writers and the artists and the designers to iterate and like see the comedy in the game as fast as possible. So then it can be tuned, you know? It's like without that, it's just going to be, it might fall flat, right?
Totally. And I imagine you got to take a chance, or you got to like, people got to take a chance on you, because it does feel like, at least in the last like 15 years, I feel like there's a lot less studio comedies coming out from a movie perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I worried that it was the same kind of uphill battle in gaming to like sell an idea. And you nailed it in High on Life 1, and so excited for the comedy that's coming in too. Like, I think that's pretty amazing. And I wonder if you had to navigate some of that same stuff, like convincing people and really selling them on the humor.
Yeah. I mean, I think from our perspective, what we tend to look at it as, like you mentioned, a movie, you got 90 minutes. Even in 90 minutes, not every joke is going to hit.
Right.
So for us, you look at this mountain of hours, and in those hours, you have all these different scenarios, and the amount of comedy that we have to get in there, we kind of had to early on accept that like not every single joke can hit. And even if even if we could make that happen, we probably don't want to, because then you get kind of exhausted. And so a big part of it is like trying we know we can make funny stuff, we know we can make unfunny stuff, and we have to try and balance and so that, you know, if you're on a hard boss and you're dying a bunch of times, like maybe we don't do too much comedy there, because if you're hearing the same jokes over and over, you start to think, oh, this game, the comedy sucks in this game, right? And you don't want to leave with that kind of bad taste in your mouth. So it is really a tough balance. Like, it's much harder than I think people would anticipate to balance like difficulty and humor in a game. And it really comes down to our writing team. They're just really funny. And of course, the actors we hire bring so much to the lines that we really can't lose once we get the right actor in there.
Yeah, and not to like toot our own horn too much, because there's obviously like comedy in games everywhere, but like this is like our core mission, right? Is like we're gonna hire comedy writers, we're gonna hire comedians, we're gonna ask them to improvise in the studio. Everybody at the team like has to literally be like joking around and like having a good time all the time, because then if they don't, it shows up in the game, right? It's like, oh, like this is miserable, right? You know, like the best review we got of the first game, and I'm already seeing comments of High on Life 2, is like, clearly the team is having a good time making this. And I'm like, that rules.
Yeah,
right?
that's
like
they're wrong.
yeah,
but
we're making a game.
I'm just kidding.
That is supposed to be fun. Yeah, Mikey hasn't had a day of fun in his life.
No,
so.
honestly, it would be fun for anybody else, but for me, I've never experienced joy, so I'm a bad person to ask.
I love the idea of you like making this comedy game and everyone's laughing at like the edits and you're just
sitting there stone faced.
Yeah, one tear.
I say I'm not happy. I definitely am happy. I just don't notice it. I only notice when it's sad, and it's great.
I love that.
And the team meeting is just Mikey putting on like the white clown paint.
Yeah.
sad face.
No, it's my ICP Juggalo paint.
So good.
Trick fake.
But truth be told, give kudos to the team, because like High on Life, the original, was like so funny, and like Ethan was saying, it's so subjective. And we watch like stand up all the time. SNL, we're big fans of comedy, and so. You know, the Mac and Cheese Brothers, by the way, are the original game. That was one of the funniest things. And it's just so, you know, as it was very clear, like you all were riffing on that, and it was just incredible. And so I'm excited to see what players can expect when they really jump in and kind of hear those subtleties and those improvising.
No,
That's the word.
Improvisation.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
we got there. There at the end, right?
That is actually like, it's a really good, like that reference is really good, because it's an example of like the team, like now we have this stupid thing in the games called shove tech, which is like we use all the time. It's like, oh, okay, the characters can push the player around. It's the stupidest thing.
We always joke that was like part of our new tech is like shove tech.
Yeah,
Because you really felt revolutionary. Bullied in the. I was like, okay, wow, these guys. All right, we get it.
it was like immersive in a weird way.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the scene was such a mess, and I think that's what made it so much funnier. It's just like the characters kind of moving around, walking through each other, and they're in your face. You're just like,
And the accents.
stop.
Made it, So it was
See me alone.
Yeah, and then I think early on too, like whenever I'm like drawing something, I'll just write a name, and I think I wrote Mac and Cheese Brothers. But then when we started doing it, I wanted to make sure that it was the last name actually was Mac and Cheese Brothers, all one word. Yeah, and so the characters also reiterate that when you're playing that their last name is Mac and Cheese Brothers, and for some reason that's just so funny to me. Like we have a couple more jokes like that in this game too, and it's really the ones that we don't spend a lot of time thinking about are the ones that hit the hardest. You know?
Yeah.
Which is fine. I think that's cool. I'm glad people love that stuff, and it's always like, damn, you know, like
you never
put
know
so much into this other thing.
Right. You never know what people are going to gravitate towards.
Exactly.
But that's part of it.
Yeah. So let's take a quick shift to art, because Mikey, I know like art, as we even look at this incredible key art, that's just like full of color. It's so important for this game. What are some of the differences that players will notice from the original to now the sequel?
So I think with this game, what I wanted to do, and it was my goal with the first game too, and we were using Unreal Engine 4, which is amazing, and using Unreal Engine 5, we're getting the fidelity up higher. My goal for the franchise was always for it not to be cartoony and for it to feel like a real movie from the 80s or 90s that has practical effects. So the lighting and the shaders and everything, I want them to feel real, you know? So it's like, yeah, it's a crazy sci-fi shape and a weird thing, but it's actually made of concrete, and the concrete looks real and the lighting looks real and all that. So in this game, we've stepped up the fidelity on the art side significantly. And we also have some areas in the game that are a lot like cleaner, a lot whiter and cleaner, and kind of in the more Sid Mead sci-fi style. I wanted to do something like you can kind of see it here in the key art. There's a lot of colors in this key art, but the actual game, this city is much more muted than this, and it feels a lot more realistic. You could probably see that in the videos and stuff. But it was something I really wanted to try. Like, can we still make our weird, wacky style work in something that feels more grounded and realistic?
Yeah, you see that in the initial scene of that 42-minute demo that I keep talking about a little bit, but you still have these like super saturated moments. Like what I think it was MurderCon was the in the demo
Black
that
light
was
and
so
everything.
cool.
Yes.
There's so many good parts of that demo. Like, if you haven't seen it, go to the Squanch Games YouTube channel. It is such an incredible piece of content and really gives a great like view of the comedy, of the art, of the story, what players are the journey they're gonna be on. And so check it out.
Yeah, I think people probably got their first glimpse of some of the art you're describing in the demo as well that featured ConCon at Gamescom. It's like my first year in years not going. Of course, so I miss it. I loved it. I always love going.
It's
but
incredible.
It is crazy. Gamescom is a
And smelly, I hear.
Yeah.
Very smelly. Hygiene can be a bit of an issue sometimes.
They used to put it on the cards. They used to say, like, make sure to shower before you go. Like,
Yes,
on the badge.
I remember. Yeah,
that.
and they would have like a bunch of little mini Old Spice deodorants that you took like out of those little like soda things that you get at like a party. Yeah. They had every year at like back when E3 was happening, they always had those little Old Spice things right in the front of the entryway. And
Kind of miss that.
I know. I would have like
highly necessary.
Wipe me down with it. I feel like the first day we got there, I was so sweaty. I was like, nobody look at me.
I look like I'm the smelliest.
Yeah.
They always choose to have Gamescom in the German summer.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
sometimes
gosh,
it is
yeah.
so hot.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we are gamers, we're roasting.
Yeah.
Like
Not turning the AC on.
No,
Yeah.
it
Recipe
smells
for
exactly.
disaster.
But I would argue more immersive for your demo experience.
For sure, yeah. I mean, we had like 6 people playing.
Okay.
And then we had 2 to 4 devs in there just like kind of helping them along in a room that's like the size of this table.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were stinky in there.
I do think it is funny, like smell aside, it is funny to have a demo about a convention at a convention because it is a bit of an immersive experience. I'm curious, like, was that a tongue-in-cheek choice? Did that just happen?
I mean, I can say it was a choice, but that'd be a lie. Honestly, I didn't even realize it till a journalist asked about it at Gamescom, and I was like, oh man. Yeah, I guess we did do that on purpose. Yeah.
The idea for that level has been, like 2.5 years now? I feel like it's been around.
Stupid idea that came out of a writer's room, and
That's fun, though.
just stuck. I don't know how it stuck, and it turned out pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah.
I'm bummed I missed it.
Yeah. I've never been, so I can only...
You didn't go this year. For some reason, I thought you were
never
there.
gone. Yeah.
It was actually how we convinced Microsoft to get us in their booth. We were like, listen, we made a demo just for you. It's about a convention. And like, you have to let us show it at this convention.
It's a little meta. It's a little artsy.
Yeah.
But you're going to like it. You're going to
Planning
like
this for
it.
years.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears to talk a little bit about the hub system in the game and what players can expect when they jump in, because really excited to hear about it.
Yeah, I can answer that. Maddie could probably jump in too because he makes sure it all actually happens.
I try.
But yeah, so our design director, Eric Meyer, him and I early on decided we wanted to do something that had Metroidvania elements to it, but we also wanted to support telling really tight stories. So this time around, we tried to keep all of the Metroidvania elements in the hubs. And so we have 3 decent sized hubs in there. And each one of those hubs has a lot of little side things you can do, NPCs you can find, tons of collectibles, tons of unlockable things. And obviously with the skateboard, there's a lot of cool stuff related to the skateboard that you can do in the hubs. In terms of how it kind of all flows together, you've got sort of your home base that you're kind of always returning to. And in there, you're talking to your crew and meeting and talking about what you're going to do next. And then you'll be dropped down into the hub. And then from there, you're navigating to like a target that you're following. And once you get to a certain point, it's triggering a more linear experience where we can tell the story in a tighter way. We still always have choices that you're making and branching paths and stuff like that. But in terms of like finishing a level and then coming back with new power-ups, we try to keep all of that in the hubs so that we can tell a complete story without needing players to come back and hear the same things over and over again.
Oh, that's smart. That's really fascinating.
Yeah, it's a big step up, I think, for us from the first game. If you played and Blim City, right, is like really cool spot, but pretty small, like geographically or like space-wise. And so having 3 of them and also like needing the space with the skateboard because you're just traversing a lot more distance, right? And also, if you played the first game and you remember like the warp crystals and bringing in the like weird sort of non sequiturs, we wanted to like have that just like appear in the hub and have them like be actually a part of this world. And one of the ways we were able to do that, which is like we do a decent amount of game jams at the studio because the entire team is so creative, right? And so we did, I don't know, we had like 8 teams or 9 teams for a week. And I think like 7 of the game jams are in the hubs in this game.
Oh, wow.
And
which is
if
pretty
we had
rad.
like infinite time, we would have taken all of them,
Yeah.
you know? And the other thing about that at the studio is, you know, anything that we do, we don't really ever say something's cut. We just say we're going to just move it to the next thing. So we'll have a lot of cool ideas. And, you know, like Maddie was saying, the team's so creative. Usually they always just have an idea that's like, yes, let's put it in the game.
That's cool.
So if we can't get it in for time for one game, we'll move it to another game.
Save it for the third one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And there's
The third one that's definitely happening.
Yeah.
That's right. Exclusive. Yeah.
there's like a lot of action, right? So it's like I think the side content is like, you know, I'm a big, like as a player, I'm like, let's go into every nook and cranny of this game. And just we have the opportunity to just hide so much stupid stuff everywhere that way. I mean, you know, we have the movies in the first game and obviously we're going to have movies in the second one. So it's like, okay, we have like this guy, Evan, who's working on all the side content. And he's like, I'm like working with the art team, building an entire movie theater. And you're just like going in and watching all these movies, right? And it's like, I don't know, just we're spending a lot more resources and time on it because I think, you know, it's just like my favorite stuff in a game, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it really makes the world feel like you're somewhere.
Lived in. Yeah.
Totally,
for
yeah.
sure.
And it's nice too, as like a older gamer, I want like a way to start something and finish it. So with the missions, we try to keep them at a certain length so that if you're like, I'm going to go take down this bounty, you actually can finish it in a night and then get back to, you know, putting your kids to bed or whatever it is that you have to do.
Yeah.